So in this video, I'm actually going to give you the grand tour from the mobile studio, the 4-camera shot of houses off of Cottage Hill Road under 300,000. And so we're going to cover multiple areas. We're going to talk about what the houses are, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, pricing, details, structural, all those kind of things. But we're also going to talk about the area. So what are you going to be close to when you live in the area, and what's that going to be like? Well, we're going to start in a very, very popular neighborhood. This off of Cottage Hill, this particular street or this entrance is called Hillcrest, but the back of the neighborhood, which is actually off of Hillcrest, is called Hickory Ridge. And this is one of the most popular neighborhoods in all of Mobile. And I have several friends that live there and they absolutely love it. But hey, my name is Jeff Jones. I'm with Keller Williams here in Mobile, Alabama. I've lived here my whole life, and I love getting to make these videos because people reach out to me all the time. They're considering moving here, but they're not quite sure about, it's scary. It's like a big deal. They don't live here. They've got to have someone that's an advocate on their side who can really answer the questions and who can kind of be their eyes and ears when they're not able to. So whether you're being transferred, whether you're moving here because you want to save a ton of money because the cost of living is super cheap here compared with so many other places, or whatever reason, I'd be happy to help you any way I can. But hey, don't forget to like and subscribe because we're always dropping new videos about all things Mobile. Whether it's $1 million house living in Spring Hill, or whether it's a $150,000 house in another part of town. But we try to answer all your questions and help you any way we can. But be sure and check out my website. It's livinginmobile.com. Now, if you look around, you're going to see this is a great example of Hickory Ridge, Hillcrest. These houses were built in the 70s and 80s. Most of them are brick houses. And of course, they've all got shingle roofs, whether it's a 3-tab shingle or an architectural shingle. And these houses would fall into that category of definitely not being cookie cutter. So you've got mostly 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom houses, some garages, but in this neighborhood you see a lot of carports. And then that's really the appeal, is you've got large lots, you've got sidewalks, you've got homes that are reasonable. Almost everything you see here is probably in the upper 200s. Maybe low 300s, but most of them are in the upper 2s. And a lot of folks are flipping in this neighborhood. I saw a house that was purchased for around $150. They put about $100 grand in it, and I think they tried to sell it for around $325, and I think they got it. So the reason people do that is because the neighborhood and the location. That's it, the location. Well, it's very, very popular. So we're going to head back out on Cottage Hill Road, and we're going to head into an area that's going to have even more reasonable houses to really, really help you save on that budget. Now, a lot of people ask me about private schools, and over on the left, you've got Mobile Christian School. I've heard a lot of great things about it, and it's not too expensive. I think it's fairly reasonable. I want to say it's around that $7,000 per year. Now, there's some schools in Mobile that are a little less than that, and then, of course, there's some schools that are a little more than that as well. Now, I'm going to take you into, let's see here. This is, I think it's called Hoffman Estates, and, Huffman Estates. But this neighborhood is going to be touching 300. Some, of course, are over, and some are right around that mark. I showed one of these houses a few years ago, and I've seen the value go up tremendously. So we had a flip in here recently, and people flip houses in neighborhoods like this because of the location. Now think about that. When you talk about house flippers, the reason they're doing that, if they're looking at making a substantial amount of money, it's because they know that by investing in flipping in a strong neighborhood and a strong location, that they're going to get their money out of it, because people will continue to invest in that area, because that's one thing you cannot change, and that is location. Location, location, location. Look at that. Straight ahead, you've got like a neighborhood little library. So goes to show you, that's one of the things you can do, is develop good relationships with your neighbors and this is the kind of neighborhood where you're going to see folks out walking their dogs, you know, out getting a little exercise. And the weather is perfect in Mobile right now. I'm recording this in the month of February, and I think, oh, it's 70 degrees. Got a little sweater on. You can't ask for anything better than that. But look around, you'll see lots of mature trees. You'll see the shingle roofs. Most of these houses are brick houses, and they're built around the 70s and 80s. And then this one on the right, that one looks like that was built relatively new. So both of those houses, and you just never know, were those vacant lots or did the other house get torn down? But feet from Cottage Hill Road, you can't ask for anything better than that. Unless, of course, when it's bad traffic. But, you know, give and take. You've got your pros and you've got your cons. Now, as we pull back into traffic, I'm going to give you another glimpse into some houses that are in that 200, 250 range. This is Knollwood, and Knollwood is like a cross street between Cottage Hill and Greelot. And Greelot is a very popular road as well. We're actually going to go there. I'm going to show you a park on the way. I mean, you just open your eyes and you're going to see countless trees everywhere. Lots of trees, lots of mature growth. You're going to have older houses because of that. But I'm going to show you a neighborhood on the right that's going to get us closer in that 200 range and get us close to, the real name of the park is called Medal of Honor Park, but most of the locals who've been here a long time, we just call it Cottage Hill Park. But it's a great place to go walking. It's got soccer fields, baseball fields, all kind of stuff. So a really popular park over here. I'll show you on the left. So we're going to turn into this neighborhood on the right to show you some housing that's very affordable. Most of these houses are going to be 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and this is called Laurelwood. I think you're going to be really shocked at how far your money goes. Now, some of these houses are going to need some work. You know, they're going to need some updates, but a lot of folks, they want to move to Alabama or Mobile in general because they want to get rid of their mortgage. Well, this is the way you can do it. You can sell your house up in Colorado, move down here, pay cash for the house in Mobile because you made so much money on the one up in Colorado. And there's no snow here, hardly ever. So 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. That's basically what you're going to see in this area. And none of the houses are going to look the same. They all look different. And in almost all cases, these houses will not have an HOA. So keep that in mind. Every now and then you'll find one, you know, might be like $100 a year. But for the most part, a lot of these houses in neighborhoods in the city that are older, no HOA. And you see the brown garbage cans that are out? That is the City of Mobile garbage can. And they have a truck that comes along once a week, connects to the side, dumps it in the back, and once every 2 weeks, we have the actual trash pickup. And that comes around, and a big truck has a claw in the back, comes around and picks up anything that's left out in front of your house, and they'll take it away. I would say it's free, but we all know that's covered in property tax. But it's a nice benefit of living in the city, that is for sure. So if you like yard work, moving to Mobile is the place for you. And if you don't, well, there's a yard man, probably 10 that live in just this neighborhood. I mean, they're everywhere. So you're not going to have a hard time finding someone to cut your yard and to help out with raking all those leaves that you're going to see in the fall, because they're everywhere. And we're going to get back on Knollwood, and then we're going to take a little spin through Medal of Honor Park and then head back to Cottage Hill Road. And sometimes when people reach out to me, they want to know, well, where can I live temporarily? Because I want to get my feet wet, I want to learn the area. Well, if you look on the right, this is Knollwood Apartments. I lived there like 25 years ago, and it's right across the street from the park. So if you want to live close to the park and you want, honestly, Knollwood's rent, it's pretty cheap. You'll have to check it out. But you can just walk across the street to Medal of Honor Park. And here we go. I'll pull into the park and just show you some of the things we have here. And you'll see that, man, it's just a beautiful day in Mobile, 70 degrees. You really cannot ask for anything better than that. Put the sunglasses on because it is getting very bright. But if you'll notice, over on the left, you'll see people walking their dog. You've got some soccer fields. And like I mentioned, baseball. It really just depends on what the season is. But there are people out here on Saturday and Sunday. It's just packed. And then in the evenings when they get off work, it's packed again. So we'll head right back to Cottage Hill Road and pick up where the tour left off. And now we are turning off of Knollwood, making a left, continuing to head east on Cottage Hill under this amazing canopy of trees. And we're going to turn into an area that has been around in Mobile for a long time. There's actually a school in the middle of this neighborhood called Dodge Elementary. My wife worked there for, I don't know, probably 10 years. But these are more houses in that 200,000 to 300,000 range. And they're well established. They've been around for a while. No cookie cutters. But this is a really large neighborhood. And it connects all the way over. It actually connects back on Knollwood by government. So we look through here and you'll see this canopy of trees. I think I've sold I know I've sold at least 2 houses here. And one coming up here on the left. They really love it. I mean, they just absolutely love it. But look how big these yards are. Look over here on the left, you'll see, and look, you see the garbage out front? They put it out there because garbage day is coming up. But I sold that house with the American flag in it over here on the left with the big roof. And they love it here. And this neighborhood also, I'll grab that phone in just a minute. This neighborhood is close to the school. It's got a swim club close by. It's got a tennis court. Lots of great amenities that this area has. And lots of different houses, a variety of houses. I'll show you another house that I sold up here in a cul-de-sac, and 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, about 1,600 square feet. Now you can get something like this for in the 200,000 range, and it's just really incredible about how far your money goes. I mean, I keep saying that over and over, but people reach out to me all the time. They're like, hey, I want this, and they present it to me almost like, I bet you can't find it. And I'm like, well, we probably can, because housing is just a lot cheaper in Mobile than so many other places around the country. It's a little more expensive on the Eastern Shore, Baldwin County, you know, Daphne, Spanish Fort, Fairhope, but not too much. So straight ahead, you'll see the house with these, I think that's a magnolia tree, the blue paint with the white columns. I sold that house this last year, a friend of mine, and yeah, there it is. Cute little house, under 200,000, and it's on a cul-de-sac in a neighborhood with sidewalks. It's really amazing how far your money can go. So straight ahead across the street, you'll see Laura Kay's nursery. I bought many a flower from there, and that place has been around for a long time in Mobile. It's like a staple when it comes to a nursery or a florist. So anyway, that's just one of the businesses on Cottage Hill Road. And we go down this hill. I sold a house over here on the left last year, about 2 years ago. It sold for around $240,000. If you look on the right, you're going to see a shopping center with Meat Boss right over there on the right with the yellow building with the black roof. Honestly, in my opinion, it's the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. And they're getting ready to air on the Food Network with Guy Fieri. I'm telling you, the best barbecue sauce ever. There's just nothing like it. And I still love Dreamland in Mobile. It's great also. And there's some other places, but I'm telling you, Meat Boss is the boss. So this, we're coming up on two streets. This to the left is called University, and then to the right is called Demetropolis. And so on the left, you've got a Walmart market, you got lots of neighborhoods, you got some places to eat, and over on the right, you've got a pizza place, you've got a steak place, you've got a pet store, McDonald's, Waffle House, you know, all sorts of things. Now, I'm going to take you through a neighborhood that's going to be one of the most reasonably priced neighborhoods in all of Mobile, Alabama. I sold a house here a few years ago to a lady who moved here from Las Vegas, I believe. Let's see, I texted with her the other day and she said they absolutely love it in Mobile. And so I'm just going to take a ride down here to show you houses that are going to be more in that 160 to 220 range. And so we'll take a ride down here, and this is in the city of Mobile, so you get the city services. No HOA. She's actually got chickens that she has, and she loves it. And she wanted to do that. You know, she wanted to move from a different environment, different climate, into an area where her money would go a long way. And so because of that, well, you're able to live a different life here when you're not having to, you know, to pay thousands of dollars every year on property tax, and you're not having to, you know, to deal with the snow or the extreme heat. It's just a great area that you can have more money. If you look around, most of these houses are going to be a 3-bedroom minimum with a 1 bath or a 1.5 bath, and then some of them have 2 bathrooms. So you'll see a lot of 3, 1.5 in this neighborhood. But then there are a good bit of 3-2s also. Of course, it's going to be reflected in the price. And some of these houses need some updates. Now, I will say the thing about areas like this in Mobile is you'll see one house that looks incredible. I mean, it looks like they cut the grass, you know, with scissors, and they're just, you know, they got yard of the month every month. And then you'll see other houses, and I don't want to point out anybody's house, get in trouble, but you'll see some houses that you're thinking, man, you know, like this place hadn't been taken care of in years. And that's just part of it when you live in an area that does not have an HOA and they're older, more established areas. So that's just one of the downfalls, but it may or may not matter to you. That's one thing you have to keep in mind. And I'll be honest with you, I'm lost. This neighborhood is massive. I think we're going to end up over here on Cottage Hill in a second, and then we'll continue, and I'm going to wrap the video up at one of my other favorite restaurants that you definitely have to check out. And people who live in this neighborhood can actually walk there if they want to, and they can walk to church across the street. It's a really popular restaurant. It's been here for a really long time. So as we leave Greenwich Hills, forgot to tell you that's the name of that neighborhood, we're going to stay on the service road, and we're going to end up at one of my favorite restaurants called the Big Time Diner. And I used to go here when I was in college, so that lets you know how long ago it's been. Look over to the left, you're going to see Cottage Hill Baptist Church, one of the largest churches in the whole state of Alabama. It is massive. They've got a student life center, they've got a family life center, they got all kind of stuff. It's just a really, really strong community church. Pastor Alan Floyd. And we're going to stop across the street here. If you'll notice, straight ahead you see the Big Time Diner. Kind of a 50s vibe, and it's like a meat and 3. And so for those of you who don't know what that is, you get to pick your meat. You know, you get to pick from one of like 10 or 12 vegetables, and it's just really popular. But one thing that sets them apart is they've also got incredible milkshakes. It's one of my favorite things to do. When I go there, I'm like, you gotta have a milkshake, because they are absolutely incredible. And yeah, so we're gonna wrap up here. And the sun is super bright, so I don't want to blind you with that. But you know, the reason I make these videos is because I love it. And I love getting to share this town that I call home. I've lived here my whole life. And oh, that wasn't a good idea. It's super bright. I've lived here my whole life, and I love getting to do this. But hey, reach out to me. You know, if I can help you in any way, answer your questions, just shoot me an email, call the number on the screen, and visit my website. It's livinginmobile.com. But don't forget, we have a brand new app. So take your phone and you can search for Living in Mobile. living in Mobile, Alabama, or you can check the link below where I'll have that. You can download it to both Android or the iPhone. But we also have a city guide where you can get free details. That's in the app, and that's also available at the link below. And lastly, we also have not just the YouTube channel, Living in Mobile, we also have the Living in Mobile, Alabama podcast, where we interview guests, where they share their stories and their experiences about living in Mobile. But hey, I can't wait to hear from you, and I hope you've enjoyed this, this tour. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you'd like to see next with this new setup I've got with the multi-cameras on the top. I mean, it's exciting, and videos are a lot easier to make now because we just hop in the car and go. So thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait for the next video.